Hello, everyone, and welcome to Windsor, Ontario for the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship. It's the gold medal match between the George Brown Huskies and the Humber Hawks, live on We Digital. My name's Justin Prince. We're glad to have you with us from the main campus of St. Clair College and Acumen Stadium at St. Clair Sports Park, presented by WFCU in Windsor, Ontario. Both of these teams have worked hard to get here, and now both of these organizations look to get themselves a championship. The George Brown Huskies are looking for their first gold medal since 1973. It will be Aubrey Lowe who will start in net alongside Hussein. De Jesus will also start alongside Steve Nizulik. Then it's El Bogi who will start alongside Ducote, lined up alongside Jonas Jama will be along with Steinbach. Keep an eye on Bodie Bengi, who was very active in terms of shots yesterday. Cherry and Max Jordan round out the lineup for John Williams, the coach for the George Brown Huskies. George Brown will be wearing their light blue jerseys today with the white trim as they look to try and take down a dynasty. The number one team in the nation, the Humber Hawks, will start with the goaltender today of Holger Exabada, who performed well against St. Clair in the semifinals. Then it is Behan alongside Osman Hussein, with Nunes being active in the score sheet with 2 goals yesterday. Federico Leo starts with the captain, Luca Usello. Rounding up the lineup today, Rodriguez, Katabui, Allen, Gasparado, and Aurora. Today's official, Sean Simpson, with Jose Tomas, along with Edward Mozik. That's a look at your officiating crew. There is also a fourth referee who is a part of today's officiating crew, in Marco Grubesic. Currently, opening ceremonies are underway here in the Rose City. Both of these teams look to try and get themselves some hardware. George Brown has guaranteed their first medal since 2016 when they won the bronze, and their first silver in a long time, as it's their first final since 2007. Humber, meanwhile, looks to go for a three-peat for their championship hopes. They have also won 8 of the past 10 gold medals. Today's weather conditions, 10 degrees Celsius. It feels like 8 degrees. The wind has been about 15 kilometers per hour today, with gusts reaching 23 kilometers per hour, humidity 94%. And light rain is expected off and on throughout today's action at Acumen Stadium. Both teams are finishing up their discussions along with the officiating crew, who will be in full yellow today with black shorts for the action. Amongst the players who were in the score sheet for George Brown yesterday, Steinbach and Benny Bengi. Keep an eye on those respective players who will be big parts of our offense today, while it was Nunes, Allen, along with Katabui scoring. Nunes and Allen twice each. The excitement levels are sky high. And now, both teams are almost set to go to see who will win the 2021 OCAA Men's Soccer Gold Medal. Will it be the dynasty, or will it be history? For a title for the first time in more than 40 years. George Brown starts things off. We're underway from Acumen Stadium. The Huskies start off on the far side of the field, around midfield, passing back and forth. Lots of traffic. Hussein sees it battled along. Trying to pass it instead. Humber intercepts it. Picked up back again by Nunes. He watches along as now Bogey tries to pass it forward. Humber now bounces it off a Husky. Rushing on ahead this time. Humber. And quickly. Then slow back down for the first throw-in situation of the day. Rodriguez with the throw-in. Quickly a quick shot and quickly picked up by the goaltender once more on the rush. George Brown taking things patiently within the first minute or so of today's action for the gold medal for the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship. From Windsor, Ontario, here on We Digital. Looping around, it's Steinbeck. Pass back to Steinbeck. Poke loose this time by Hussein. Hussein avoids the slide tackle. Humber picking up the tempo. The quick shot towards the net, deflected up over the woodwork and over top and out of touch. Leading the charge that time was Katabui. Katabui picked up one goal yesterday in the 5-1 victory over the St. Clair Saints. That moved them to a perfect record against the Saints in their postseason run for Humber in their program history. Quick goal kick by George Brown. Bounce to Gasparotto. Approaching the middle. Now deflected out of touch off of Humber. Getting ready for a throw-in this time from George Brown. Gasparotto. Bounced up. Gamma quickly gets it out of touch. Humber responds with a throw-in off of George Brown's players. One takes a tumble. Here comes Humber. A big chance. Leiford Allen can't get to it as it goes out of touch. And that leads to a goal kick. Very slowly taken up this time, and now it's being moved, in fact, all the way for appears to be free kick initial now. Yes, indeed. Seen the flag initially, was offsides. That's now moved up to midfield either way. Moved along, and that time it goes out of touch. Approaching 3 minutes into the action here on We Digital. We're glad to have you with us for this gold medal matchup here on We Digital. Thrown back into play, kicked up to the sky by George Brown. Header battle, headed along this time by Hussein. Picked up off that bounce, Ducot. Ducot gets the pass. Tries to pass it across, deflected by Humber. Kick back to midfield, retreating back once more, Humber. The Hawks trying to be a little bit more quicker on the tempo. So far, George Brown has controlled the possessions. This one flipped on forward, trying to break away, trying to go for the first attack attempt. Push from behind, George Brown still retreating back. Deflected by a couple Huskies as Humber takes it away. Deflected back by George Brown and moved back into the zone. Moved ahead for a quick shot, caught by the goalkeeper. First time Examina touches the ball here today. Humber now going to the routine way of setting things up against St. Clair yesterday. Trying to go methodical, shorter passes. This taking a little bit more difficulty to get, though, this time. Passed along to Rodriguez. Rodriguez avoids the tackle attempt. Rodriguez takes a tumble as that goes to Feijun. Back along to the far side. Humber kicks it to midfield. Moved along now, Nunes. Nunes gets the pass back, working back and forth now with Aurora. Chased along with the side, and out of touch it goes. Abu Baker Hussein, I should say, now ready for the throw-in. Approaching 5 minutes now into the action. George Brown had upset the number 10 team in the nation to get here, the Seneca Sting. The Sting earlier today secured their second consecutive bronze medal after defeating the Saints 4-2. Humber, meanwhile, trying to find a way to pierce through the Huskies' defenders. Moved up Rodriguez, finding a pocket for an attack. Moved to the outside. Usello to Rodriguez. Kick back out again. Back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez goes for the cut-in. Quickly the shot to the top of the woodwork and over it. That will set up a goal kick opportunity with a fresh ball. Entering this championship weekend, keep in mind, the George Brown Huskies were ranked 15th in the CCAA rankings. That's after being 2-4 in regular season play and having to come for the crossover games. They've had a very strong run, upsetting several opponents. And now Humber tries to move ahead here. Move back, Rodriguez. Kicked up towards the box, headed away by George Brown. Move back around and back and forth, Usello. Usello loops around the official. Now, Rodriguez to Usello. Trading back this time to Fehan. Hawks now reset their attack. The Humber Hawks in the regular season, keep in mind, were the top team of the OCAA in goals, shots a game, assists, and total shots. Trying to get a shot here. They get squeezed off the ball. This brought all the way past midfield once again. Gasparotto. Quickly tip pass by Nunes. Nunes watches as it's dribbled back and forth. Back to midfield. Back to Fehan, the fourth-year defender. Now kicks it along to Usello. Right on by Katabui. Katabui couldn't handle a pass, and now George Brown tries to go on the attack. Only one shot for the Huskies, 2 for Humber so far. This one floated by 2 Hawks as a bit of a collision. Oh, wow, the ball rolls its way down to the corner. George Brown keeps up the attack. Buddy Benke crosses it in, headed away. The quick shot back just misses. And a nearly picturesque opportunity for Mark Louis to go. Quickly approaching 10 minutes into this gold medal matchup. Mentioned the George Brown Huskies looking to win their first gold medal since 1973. That was a part of a back-to-back that they were able to accomplish during the early 70s. They were the third ever champion, what is now the OCAA. That one tapped away on the corner kick, meanwhile taken up by Humber and knocked out a touch. Throw-in for the Hawks. The Hawks didn't break through for their first gold until the 1990s, but ever since, Michael Quino took over for this program about 12 seasons ago. The Hawks have dominated OCAA play for the gold medal. They try and float it on in and head it away. George Brown tries to flip it over, open crease, and just missing the woodwork. Leaford Allen with a huge chance there, just misses. And quickly, it's passed along for George Brown after the missed chance. Allen trying to force a mistake on the toss up the field. Headed by Humber. Trying to charge back in. Steinbach quickly having to back off as now it's free kick called. Humber, meanwhile, getting ready to get this set up as they have ruled it all the way back around midfield or so prior to that initial pass back. Moved on for Rodriguez. Leapt down the field for a chance. Usello. Pass down once again. Katabui. Quick shot from up the top outside the box and out of touch for another goal kick. That time, it is Osman Hussein, their fourth-year Masters FA student, or rather, student from secondary school-wise Masters FA. Humber back with the ball. They reset once more. So far, they are out shooting George Brown 4-2. Slowly taken around. Around the world goes the Hawks. Moved up, head to Usello. Flipped up down the field for Rodriguez. Knocked down by the Huskies. Will that stay in touch? Yes, it will for Usello. George Brown now provides some pressure, able to strip it away. Here comes Bodie Bengi, and quickly losing it back to Humber. Kicked right off the bottom of the shoe tops for El Bogie. Now moved up, Rodriguez flips it up to the goalkeeper, caught. And Lowe continues to remain ever busy. First save credited. And now kicks it away. Headed by Humber. Moved on down, back to George Brown. Jordan. Quick pass. Jonas Gemma. Sees the space open up. Steinbach. Passed off the side of the foot. Bogie Benki tries to get a quick shot. Quickly knocked out of touch. That sets things up once more for a corner kick opportunity for George Brown. George Brown taking their time to place this one. Ducot. Kicked up through the box. Headed up. Knocked over the woodwork by the goalkeeper. What a stop for Max Hamada. That will set up an additional corner kick opportunity for George Brown. Same player. They try it again. Lower this time. Humber gets their heads on it. They chase after it. George Brown able to retreat back to the outside of the box. Quickly flipped up. It just misses the woodwork for a goal kick. Shots now tied up at 4 apiece in this match, by the way, as a result of that sequence. Corner kicks in the regular season, keep in mind, George Brown had 12 of them, 14th in the OCAA. They picked up a fair bit of them this weekend. Bit of contact trying to rush down the field. A George Brown Husky is down as Humber tries to take advantage of this. Quickly kicked down by the Huskies. They now knock it out of touch here as they try and get a signal for the down player. So a player is down after that tackle attempt. Muzovic amongst those checking in on the teammate down. Some of the players now making their way towards the sideline. John Williams. John Williams now taking this time to discuss things with his roster. So the train's now taking its time here in this situation. Currently under injury stoppage time. Keep in mind that the time you see in the upper corner of your screen does not include that respective side across the boards at this facility. But you can see already the amount of discussion Coach Williams is having, all while Hans Cherry is down. Hans Cherry, a second-year defender from Toronto. Currently on an injury stoppage here in Windsor, Ontario. The gold medal game between George Brown and Humber. One thing to discuss as all this goes on is to remind those of what is at stake on top of the gold medal. Both of these teams have already qualified for the CCAA Nationals in Calgary. They'll be hosted by SAIT. How that works is it's for all the conference champions across the nation for CCAA sanctioned action. And now, the George Brown Husky is taken to the sideline. Coach Quinn also taking a bit of time to discuss things after this injury stoppage. About 3 to 5 minutes so far. The main point emphasized, though, is because of the performance in the past 3 seasons for the OCAA and CCAA National Championship action, a wild card seed has been awarded to the OCAA as of about a month ago. The official seeding gets sorted out at the conclusion of the conference championships, but the loser is currently amongst those listed for quarterfinal 1 or 2. The winner of this matchup, quarterfinal 3 and 4. That would take place again in a few weeks' time. Humber won the Nationals in 2018. The reigning national champions from the last tournament in 2019, the Durham Lords. So once again, in the midst of an injury stoppage time here, before we can get back going, no score between Humber and George Brown. And it looks like we're all set to go for a throw-in. And it's quickly thrown back to the goalkeeper. A good sign of respect there shown after the injury stoppage. And George Brown taking that play previously before the stoppage out of touch. There is a waiting substitution just seen there on the side. This one quickly kicked down the field. Humber gets their feet back on it. Bayhun. Moved on now. Hussein. Up to midfield now for Humber. Bounce back around. Past midfield. Back to Rodriguez around that midfield line. Now move back inside. The George Brown side of the field. In the pitch. Moved along the field. Bouncing around, quick shot. Quickly headed away by George Brown. Move back off the bounce now. Humber resets their attack. Rodriguez flips it up to the box. The header. They score. Leiford Allen with his 3rd goal of the tournament. And Humber is on the board. It's 1-0. Leiford Allen, a 3rd-year player from Brampton, Ontario, at 6'1", has been dominant whenever he's gotten a shot off close to the box. And now, Humber's up 1-0. Quickly back underway, approaching the 19th minute. George Brown backing things up. Allen, keep in mind, had just 3 goals in the regular season. He's had 3 goals in the past 2 days alone. Clouds are starting to settle over top Acumen Stadium as well, it's worth noting. With that potential of rain as this goes out of touch. That signal towards the corner. That one deflected off of George Brown after the Allen goal moments ago. Humber is up 1-0. Quick corner kick. Headed up to the box. Again, stopped by a defender right at the goal line. Kicked out of the box all the way towards midfield. Move back, Nunes. Kicked up to the sky by George Brown. Allen again had scored in the 18th minute to give Humber a 1-0 advantage here on the pitch at Acumen Stadium. George Brown with the throw-in. They look to respond in their attempt to try and break up a Goliath. Picked up off the stripping, this time from George Brown. Bounced around and moved up this time. Bogey working with Jama, quickly picked off. Kick back the other way. The substitution was Yusuf Jama, who was not able to play in the semifinal, by the way. He was now on the pitch as a quick whistle leads to a free kick chance for Yusuf Jama. Quickly kicked around by George Brown. Humber breaks up the pass. Another attack. Allen trying to lead it tied up, and that draws several whistles this time. In the vicinity that time to Jesus, who will get the free kick. Goes for the stutter step for the pass this time. Allen trying to box things in. Pass back to the goalkeeper and low. To Jesus. Moves it strongly up the field. Jovic floats it around. George Brown has a great chance. The quick push ahead. An empty net. And Humber able to break it up on the slide. Gasparotto, one of the top defenders in the OCAA, breaking up the Central Player of the Year, prevents what could have been the tying goal early. Instead, it's a corner kick. Gasparotto, a month before total CCAA All-Canadians from OCAA play this season. Headed along by Humber after the corner kick. Yusuf Jama. Pass back out. Stutter step from Melgogi. Quickly shot through the box. Again, a header attempt. An empty crease. Quick shot over the woodwork and out of touch. Dakota again with that quick shot. They rule a corner kick. They say it touched a Humber Hawk. So a third corner kick situation for George Brown now. This time, will it lead to anything? Humber says no for now. Headed away by the Hawks. George Brown still with the ball. Trying to pass it ahead and deflect it out of touch for a throw-in by Humber. George Brown will throw it in, rather. Jordan quickly throws it in to Jonas Jama. Jonas. Forced to retreat all the way back with Yusuf. Yusuf Jama passes it to Lowe. Lowe out of the box. Moves it up. Crawling it up to Jesus. To Jesus with a big boost. Headed away by Gasparotto. And bounced out of touch once more for a throw-in. Just past 23 minutes in. The Hawks up 1-0. Trying to win a third consecutive goal. George Brown with the ball. Quickly pass back and forth a couple times over. Logie tries to switch around. Quickly passed. Now off to Jordan. Jonas Jama. Trying to go for the short passes. George Brown, a quick shot. Stop once more. Examina another defensive stop in net. Examina, keep in mind, had just one start in the regular season, with 4 saves and 2 goals allowed in a victory. Examina has been playing extremely well in the postseason. Quickly rushed on down through George Brown's territory, passed along by the Huskies and by Lowe. Loping back. Jovic. Stuttering. Passed along. Logie again. A chance for George Brown. Jordan trying to lead it. Along the near side. To Jama. Notice Jama avoids 2 tackle attempts. A pass deflected around. A quick shot. Way off the mark. Dakota has taken a ton of shots today for George Brown. He has been one of the main options for this team today. The regular season, just 3 shots were credited towards him. He's had 3 this match alone. Humber taking their time now after the quick pass from the goalkeeper. Move back to the goalkeeper again. Fehan. Kiss down to Rodriguez. Once again back to the defender and Fehan. Moved along Hussein. Up to Rodriguez. Out of touch. And right now signaled Humber throw in as the George Brown Husky got it with their foot on the way out. Allen quickly passes it along. Rodriguez out of the corner. Couple different Huskies now dive on through. Allen finds a hole. Bounces off the back foot, though, of Yusuf Jama. And now George Brown is back with it. The Huskies, they're picking up a lot of shots now in the past few minutes of play. Now in the 26th minute, they have 9 shots recorded so far to Humber 6. Most have come in the past 5 or so minutes. Out of touch, George Brown throw-in. Gasparotto quickly sends it back into the face of one of his teammates on the bench. No reaction from the teammate getting hit in the face with the ball. Buddy Bengi sees a pass now back towards midfield to Jesus. Moved on now, Yusuf Jama. Jama tries to send it far. Headed along. No one able to take advantage, but a whistle blown for the contact. And a Husky is quickly down, and a few different Hawks are reacting here to this one. It was outside the box, it appeared, from here. Modibengi was trying to give a header, and they have called for a free kick just outside of the box. So here's a chance right here. A wall already is being built up with 4 Huskies. Watching make it 5 for the Hawks, rather. George Brown looking to tie it. Approaching the 28th minute. Going low trajectory, the quick shot stopped. Samada diving on top of it and stays on top of it to make sure the crease is emptied. Moved along now by the Hawks. Floated up for Allen. Allen gives it chase. Allen the chance. Allen the pass. Broken up by George Brown. Allen retreats back to retrieve it once more. The pass quickly picked up by the Huskies. Taken out of the pressure and quickly drawing a free kick. So far, no cards given in this match. Stark contrast the bronze medal match, which seen several in the first half alone, as that goes out of touch down the side along the benches. Throwing coming in Humber. Quickly bounced around by a couple Hawks. 2 Huskies surround them. Quickly booted upfield. Headed back the other way by Yusuf Jama. Retrieved, though, by Leal. Leal has it bounce around and out of touch. Quick throw-in for Humber. Humber not wanting to take too much time here on these throw-ins today. Gasparotto. It's passed along to Fahon. Zello. Passed on back, Fahon. Humber continuing to work around the pitch. Back and forth. Now trying to seesaw their way in. Passed off a Husky. Taken up by George Brown. Slide tackle breaks up the initial pass attempt. The Huskies still able to break it past midfield. Back around. Ducot. Passed on towards the rush. A chance for George Brown. Waiting in the corner. Jonas Jama. Floats it around. Kick back this time by Elbogi. Quick shot, slipping on the shot attempt again. It goes out of touch for a goal kick. Ducot this time slipping on the artificial turf for the pitch here today. And the rain is starting to fall at Acumen Stadium. The umbrellas have now come out in effect in the stands. Just past the 30th minute here in the first half of play for the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship, the gold medal match. Humber, George Brown, the Hawks up 1-0. Currently being kicked back and forth by Humber. Taken now by Rodriguez. Rodriguez speeds his way past George Brown. Passed into open space. Chasing after it. Kanibui, and offsides is the call. The offsides flag immediately popped on down as George Brown kicks it back to their goaltender and low to reset it. Moved around by George Brown around midfield. Picked up by Humber. Bounced around towards space. Allen backs off on the chase. Touched out of touch either way. For the throw-in now for Humber. Humber having their strongest attack chance in the past 15 minutes or so. A throw-in coming in once again after the quick deflection. This time, throw-in coming from Aurora, who has been very quiet today. Quickly trying to speed on in is Humber. Broken up once more by George Brown. Trying to keep it in play instead out of touch. Quickly thrown back by Humber. Allen quickly misses for the goal kick now. And our chance goes for naught along the edge of the woodwork. Signal now. Here's them heading towards corner kick. Yes. Quickly kicked up. Knocked away by Lowe. And that goes out of touch. Humber still with the chance on this attack. Thrown in within a second. Quickly booted off someone's face. Jonas Jama now takes it. Ripped off the ball by Osman Hussein. Seems it kicked around. Leo with the pass to the corner. Floated up for the chance. George Brown kicks it away. Headed back by Humber. Picked up by the Hawks. Passing back and forth off someone's leg. And a Husky is down. A Husky just took a kick to a not-so-pleasant area. That is Hussein. George Brown's Hussein. That's not the best of regions to receive a kick in that battle for the ball. And you can see the reaction there. Smiling it off a little bit. As now this will set up an opportunity for a free kick. Humber will have the free kick immediately passed. And immediately whistle back. Bengi tried to strip the ball, immediately pass back instead. And they are going to reset this chance now after that quick pass. Ucell now immediately passes it. Now off to Rodriguez. Back across midfield. Curl pass. Moved ahead. Lobbed up. Now along the side. Humber with the chance. A quick shot over the woodwork. We bounced off the Canadian football uprights as well. Now it's a goal kick. Bounced around still. Once the defense. Humber elects to reset everything all the way back to their own territory. 35th minute of action. The rain pouring down during the gold medal matchup here. Still being bounced around. George Brown forced to retreat as now an offsides flag pops up immediately before there's any chance. Of note, a couple of the spectators have put down their umbrellas. There is one very dedicated one in the front row keeping theirs. All while Jordan gets the ball. Now passed along. Bogey. Pass back again. Ducot. Deflected about a couple times. Here comes Humber again. Usello. To open space. Allen. Deflected and contact with the goalkeeper. And offsides is still the call regardless. Allen and Lowe showing good respect for each other there. And George Brown quickly gets back to work. More patient approach for the attack this time. Lowe. Trying to break through this formation from Humber. Allen tries to speed ahead. Zipped along towards midfield. Kicked alone. Jonas Jama. To Jordan. Jordan. Stutters around. Passed up again. Jonas Jama. Pulled off the ball. Bounce back to Jordan. Out of touch. Humber throwing. The Hawks currently trying to play back and forth. Sampler kicks it along. Back to the goalkeeper. Moved along still. Rodriguez off the side of a Husky for another throw-in. Derlin goes far. Kicked up to the sky. Knocked on and bounced around still. Kicked along still amongst the Humber zone. Now into George Brown territory. The Hawks now putting on the afterburners. One player trips on the turf for a second. Another couple go for a slide. And play is still active now, blown through for now as the Humber Hawk is down. This one reaching for the left ankle. There were 4 All-Stars for the Humber Hawks in the OCAA Central this season. Leo, Nunes, Gasparotto, and Usello all had very strong campaigns. Leo and Nunes had been the initial 2 who were leading the way in shot attempts. They have been very quiet, their attempts today. Federico Leo is one of those players who is now down here. See some of the discussions now with Yusuf Jama. A couple different Hawks. Now, let's get back ready to go. Humber kicks it back and forth, now approaching the 40th minute of action here at Acumen Stadium. George Brown with a good chance here. A lot of open running room. The pass across, nearly broken up. Still the chance. To the box, the shot, just over the woodwork and out of touch. So another opportunity quickly passed along by Humber as a result there. Jordan has it quickly picked away. Moved along. Jonas Jama knocked down. Play continues. Humber, wide open chance. Here comes Katabui, speeding his way down. Trying to cross it, knocked out of touch instead. The call, goal kick. And now, we are quickly approaching the stoppage in extra time. Headed along by George Brown. Quickly jonked around by the Hawks. Still bouncing around and passed around. This time up to Hussein. Flipped up the field, out of touch quickly. Goal kick response coming. Just the one goal so far in this respective match. Now in the 41st minute, George Brown contemplates as they kick it downfield. Lofted along to Jordan. Jordan quickly knocked off the ball by two Hawks. This one dribbled about now by Humber. Keep in mind, George Brown has the most shots so far in this match with 12 to Humber's 8, 20 combined. The Huskies were 14th in shots in the regular season, 56. Yusuf Jama kicks it way down the field, right back to the goalkeeper for Humber. The Hawks taking advantage of a bit of communication lapses there as Lowe catches that and breaks it up. George Brown kicks it up to midfield again. One Husky knocked down, the ball knocked out of touch. Humber throw-in. Back and forth still, Rodriguez. Looping back, Uzello. Boodle on to midfield. Hussein. Deflected off a player. Allen now comes back to retrieve it. Kicked along and knocked down by George Brown. Steinbach trying to get it forward this time, instead dribbled ahead. Yevich. Kicked ahead to Steinbach. Steinbeck. Able to bounce it back and forth now. Floated up and headed away by Humber. Quickly kicked back towards the midfield logos. Up to the sky. George Brown sends this one. Let's stay in touch, yes. Approaching the 45th minute quickly. Decent amount of time left, potentially with the added stoppage time for injuries. For another attack or two for each side. Quickly moved on towards midfield again. Humber sees it bounce off the side of the scoreboard this time, making a hat trick of balls bouncing off the scoreboard today. Humber will throw it in here as that one gets ready for with the substitution coming. There is a substitution waiting from the Humber side of the field. They will have one player come onto the pitch now in turn here. So coming off the field here now is Federico Leal, and he doesn't appear to be happy about that decision with the bib. Drawing in, that is Dante Pavin, who now comes into the match. Meanwhile, on the pitch, Jordan tries to take it up after that throw-in. Move back, Yusuf Jama. Ducot. Yusuf Jama. Yusuf Jama waits. Pass along. Njevich. Juking back and forth with Usello. Now lofted along by George Brown. Knocked down for a split second. Headed on forward by the Huskies. Headed back to the parking lot. For a quick throw-in for George Brown. And you can't do that there. Someone tried to catch the ball after the throw-in. So now the work is on to retrieve the ball, it appears. And a yellow card is given. Did they just yellow card one of the substitutions who was warming up? I believe so. It would be from the Humber side. There was a Humber Hawk that was in the vicinity that was stretching and warming up after that. Quickly pushed on down is George Brown, free kick coming. And now, bit of squabbling. Now in added time, things are getting chippy, approaching the end of the first half of this match. It will be Steinbach who will try and get this booted. Free kick headed away by Humber. And that ends off the first half of play. And words are being exchanged here. Now a yellow card may be coming here. One's already come out of the official's pocket. And they're trying to separate things out here. There's the yellow card to both sides. A double yellow. 14 for both sides. Katabui was on one side. Boogie Bengi was on the other. Tempers are flaring for the gold medal match for the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship here on We Digital. Humber is up 1-0. What an interesting first half of play and an interesting way to end said half here. As the tempers still flare. Both teams trying to sort things out here. Both benches have not moved, mind you, from their positions. So now, everything getting jotted down by the officials here in a bizarre end of the first half here with some tempers flaring up. Both teams now getting separated apart here. The last of things are now being sorted out here. Again, currently trying to sort things out here. And now they will allow everyone to go. They blow the whistles a second time, and now, after a lot of words were exchanged, it's halftime. More coverage after this. You're watching We Digital. 1-0, Humber.
My name is Nicole Pekala. Before I was in the welding program, I was a pet nutritionist at a pet shop for about 3 years. You'll be surprised how great it is to be a woman in the trades because it's such a welcoming community. Every woman that I've met that's in the trades program or has studied within the trades is just so happy to be in it. And why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that everybody else is enjoying and loving themselves?
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to Windsor, Ontario for today's coverage of the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship and the gold medal game here on We Digital Productions. My name's Justin Prince. The Humber Hawks are up 1-0 after 45 minutes of play. We're already underway for the start of the second half of play. The Hawks with possession to start things off. After a flurry of yellow cards, ended off the first half of play, including one for one of the recent substitutions prior to the half and noons. It was a lengthy reason why, let's put it that way, in the backdrop for those who are keeping an eye on screen. Humber, meanwhile, with the ball with the pickoff. Usello tries to pass it ahead. A chance for the Hawks. Quick shot. Bounces off the woodwork. Quick shot. And the celebration starts as Allen scores. Allen with his second of the match. It's 2-0 Humber. Playford Allen with a very busy weekend. Make that 4 in the past 2 days. Give credit as well to Katabui to set up the great chance for Humber. And now they're up 2-0 after scoring within the first minute of the second half. George Brown trying to pass it back and forth after the allowed goal. Move back amongst the defenders. Looping back this time. Yusuf Jama. Jama now flips up the field. Passes by the smoke pipe. Pass back to the goaltender. Knocked down by Humber. Flipped around now by Ducote. Takes it up towards midfield. Trying to loop on back over top the ball. Bodie Bengi. He's amongst those charging ahead for George Brown's attack this time. Here comes Jonas Jama. Quick shot. Deflected away. Goes out of touch. For those wondering what that pipe is in that section, that is a set of heaters that are set up around the benches for today. There's the cover bench, and then there's one per side for those benches. One to the right side of the bench, one to the left to heat up those areas. Allen has been red hot today in this match. 2 goals already, and right now is the reason Humber's up 2-0 in the gold medal game. Tapped around back and forth, Nunes. Looping back now, Aurora. All the way back to Gasparotto. Move back once again for Nunes. Nunes tries to pass it in for Allen. Allen, another chance for the hat trick broken away. And a corner kick opportunity coming up. Keep in mind, the most goals anyone has scored in this tournament this year, whether in the semis or in the bronze or gold medal matches, has been 2 goals max by 2 Hawks. No hat tricks throughout this weekend. Quickly kicked away by Humber, knocked away by 2 different Huskies. And out of touch. Throw-in already signaled. Throw-in will come from the far side, this time from the Hawks. Rodriguez with the throw-in. 4 different Huskies converge on the ball, picked up by the 2 Hawks. Looping back, Usello. Now up to the box. Squeezed on through. Scrambling forward, several dive at it, and they score! Humber now in command. Katabui celebrates. As that makes it 3-0 Humber. A mad scramble and the pressure for Lowe. That is now 2 goals in 4 minutes. And already George Brown is warming up the bench. George Brown with the ball, down 3-0. Humber putting in a lot of work this second half defensively. They were the top defensive team, mind you, in the Central Division this season, as that's out of touch for a throw-in by Humber. Left back and forth. Nearly to the official. George Brown trying to set up their first attack of the half. Yevich sees a pass back now all the way to Yusuf Jama. Yusuf Jama tries to run away from Allen. Passed upfield. Albogi. Moved around back and forth for Jordan. Weaving back and forth still, George Brown. More shorter passes now for this attack plan. Kicked ahead now, Hussein. Hussein! Hit by two different Hawks, and the yellow card already coming out. Aurora gets the yellow card, it appears, this time. That would be the third of the match for Humber. And one of the top young players in the OCAA this season, the Central Division Rookie of the Year, and Hussein is now down on the pitch. So another injury stoppage in the early portions of this second half of play. Glad to have you with us, as mentioned, We Digital. See, in a moment you do not want to see in the gold medal game. Currently, players trying to regather themselves here. Humber's already discussing things during this injury stoppage. They have only 3 players warming up. The Hawks do for their side of the bench. There are 6 for George Brown. George Brown is actually bringing the substitution along the sideline now. There are the 5 who are warming up now. They were 6. One of them has already just thrown a water bottle on the field and is about to make their way to the field from the bench area. As those players continue to warm up, see the discussions from some of the George Brown players. The player who is making their way towards the middle of the field now is Massoud Rehaman. Hussein is now being picked up. There is the substitution waiting in the wings. As we take a look at the scoreline, the Humber Hawks up 3-0. Allen with 2. Katabui with 1. 3 goals for Humber. 2 within 3 minutes of each other. This discussion continues on as Coach Williams continues to watch from the side. Give credit to you saying Fender started 5 of the 6 games played. It's a good portion of this team. Hussein back to his feet. Still waiting along the side is Rehaman for the player. They continue to take their time here. This tough moment of this match. Approaching the 55th minute. Not including injury stoppage. Free kick is the call from that injury stoppage. The wall is now being built up by Humber. So a huge opportunity right after the injury stoppage for George Brown. All set up for the free kick here, just outside the penalty box. The blistering kick goes out of touch over the woodwork. Another missed shot for Ducote. The defender has had a majority of George Brown's shots today. 14 total now for the Huskies, 12 for Humber. 4 of the Hawks' shots in the second half of play alone. Back and forth go the Hawks right now. The sun going down behind the clouds, it is worth noting, with the overcast skies as the lights continue to become more prevalent. George Brown trying to show their prevalency on the attack here. Poke loose by Humber. Quick shot outside the box. The dive just misses the woodwork. And a huge chance still for George Brown with the corner kick now after the missed first shot attempt. This one quickly kicked back up. George Brown forced to retreat all the way to midfield. Yusuf Jama. Moved around for Jordan. Past Allen's foot, headed again by Humber. Poked around by George Brown across midfield. Humber now trying to take it up. Kicked ahead, a chance. And the chance goes for not to Lowe. Lowe tosses it all the way down for the pass. Taken up now by Rehamon. Rehamon pass now forward again. Bugabengi across. Loop back just outside the penalty box. Rehamon floats it in. Off the right foot of a Husky. Kicked up to the sky by Humber once more. Knocked back down. This time Yusuf Jama passing it back. Stuttering ahead to Jesus. Gets it back on the pass. De Jesus launches it down. Allen kicks it down. Quick shot. Out of touch for the goal kick. Keep in mind, strong day for Rudy Bengi to be able to help position George Brown to get here very quiet in this match. Rudy Bengi had 2 goals in 3 starts through the regular season on 3 shots. Humber, meanwhile, with a chance here. Allen looking for the hat trick. And offsides is the call. The offsides called from the near side of the field. So the opportunity is waved off there. Pass back and forth now by George Brown. De Jesus moves it up. Spun around. Izovic. Working now, De Jesus sees the goalkeeper and Lowe have to kick it away. All the way across midfield and headed off the side of the scoreboard. Make that 4 times today. George Brown throws it in. The rain starting to pelt down again. Bounced around by Humber. Move back and forth. George Brown able to track it back down. Kicked all the way back towards the goalkeeper again. Lowe scrambles out of the box. Kicks it up once more. Knocked off the side of the bench covers. That goes out of touch. And nearly visits the street. Well, the grounds crew members able to track down that ball as Humber moves the current live ball away quickly. Free kick called. See in the backdrop, some of the players still being checked out from some of the injury stoppage times. Humber likes to just softly pass it around. Luis Escobar to Gasparotto. Stuttered ahead. Now flipped ahead by Allen. Bounced off a couple Huskies. Off the chest this time of Steinbach. Another Hawk now falls over. Humber squeezes through two Huskies. Pass softly back. Now move back quickly for the reset. Gasparotto. Taken out by Fahan. 60th minute of action on We Digital. Humber up 3-0 in the gold medal game for the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship. Chance to extend that here with this opportunity as that rolls out of touch. Rolling is goal kick. Last touched by Katabui on the charge ahead. Check that free kick. With that being tied up for a good 10 yards. Booted away as this is headed away and headed back the other direction. Allen gets it kicked away. George Brown kicks it up to the sky back to midfield. Steinbach tries to retreat. Avoids the slide from Escobar. Now moved up along the side. Mogi has it bounce off his intended target. Humber back with it for another reset in the 61st minute. Moved around and swinging around. Usello sees the slide. As that goes out of touch. Throw in. And a lot of work put in by that head coach you see there in Michael Aquino. He elects to sub out Katabui despite all the hard work put in. It is Babawale who now comes in. Abdul Babawale. Hawks going back and forth. Keep in mind, when it comes to Michael Aquino, he's been the head coach of the program since 2013 with 4 CCAA titles. 2013, 15, 16, and 18. During the tenure for Humber, his head coach, just 1 loss average per season. Right now is putting his organization in a good spot in this match. Couple players go flipping around after the tackle attempt. Humber back with the ball, floating it upfield. Kicked on back. Moved up for Allen. Allen gets shoved over. No call there as George Brown pushes it back up. Floats it up towards the fans. That one goes out of touch and finds a friend. Thrown back in and passed back and forth by Humber. Moved around once more, up to Fahan. Now along the side. Usello gets sandwiched. George Brown tries to speed up the tempo. Kicked on ahead for an opportunity. George Brown into the box. Gets tripped up. No call. This one kicked back down. Cream back is Jordan. Moved up along the side still for George Brown. The cross. The attempt to the head caught by Examina. And the penalty box gets cleared out quickly for the quick roll back to Fahan. A chance for a breather there. All the players have returned back to the respective benches after their warm-ups earlier. Move back around for Humber. Gasparotto. Likes to give it off to Fahan. Majority of the players now in the middle third. Humber looking for a place to pounce through the formation. Examina tries to kick it over the formation. Instead, George Brown picks it up. Move back around towards the outside. Abogi sees it go out of touch. Throw in for Humber. Give credit to all those working from St. Clair College in for the OCAA this weekend for men's soccer action. The second consecutive championship hosted by this complex. I give them all credit for the hard work they have done throughout the weekend. Humber, meanwhile, putting in a lot of hard work to set up an opportunity. Will this stay onside, though? Passed off to the corner. Several try and scramble after it. Usello covers it off. Usello forced to retreat back. Tries to go for the cross. Through traffic, knocked down. George Brown now tries to dribble it away. Moved up towards midfield. Again, tapped down by Aurora. One player knocked down. This time by Jonas Jama. Free kick for Humber. It's worth noting the one fan who had held up the umbrella in the stands had put it down now. Every other umbrella is up. George Brown tries to move it across midfield. Throughout these off and on rainy conditions. Humber picks it off. Knocked off a Husky. Knocked back down by George Brown. Now passed ahead by Jordan. Floated upfield. A chance now for George Brown. Stuttering ahead. Charging ahead. Contact, and that's huge. Contact in the penalty box. And this could be a penalty kick here. Yes, indeed it is, as Humber retreats out of the penalty box. A huge chance for De Jesus now. Exhamina now tries to stop this. The quick shot bounces off the woodwork. Caught by Exhamina. Exhamina screams at De Jesus. George Brown was 1 for 1 of the regular season on penalty kicks, and Humber wants some space for the goal kick. All the way past midfield. Headed away by Humber. Bounced off someone's foot. Here comes George Brown. Steinbeck looks to set up the cross. Instead, hands it back to Exhamina. '67th minute of action. Humber leads 3-0. Substitution getting ready for George Brown's side as Humber tries to bring it upfield again. Quickly booted down the field and out of touch. Goal kick. And the George Brown Husky, who is trying to get the substitution bib off, now makes his way to the midfield. Keep an eye on that for the next major stoppage. This one picked off by Humber. Allen rounding up for the hat trick off the back of a Husky and out of touch. And the substitution is getting has the bib put back on. We'll have to wait here with this quick throwback. Humber. As Gasparotto booted hard. Past Jordan. Jordan tries to track it. Usello tries to fight for it. Bounces off the corner flag. And that will be a throw-in for George Brown. The substitution now coming into play. Lon Steinbeck is now being subbed out currently by George Brown. Into the match, Ryan Husanai. He watches now as George Brown kicks it back and forth, electing to back it away from their own pressure. As that's knocked out of touch. Throw in George Brown. We moved up ahead now by George Brown. Moved along again. Rehaman. Passed up towards the edge of the box. Weaving back and forth. Trying to loop it back around, still with it. Jovic with the moves. With the pass. And kicked away by Humber yet again. Header knocked down quickly. Rehaman. Pass it off. Quick pass picked up once again and dribbled overdone by Duco. Now passed up the field for an opportunity. Baba Whale with 3 defenders to run around. Loops it back. Pass back for the Hawks. Usello. Pass it back and forth. Now opening up. Pavin. Off towards the corner. Pavin retreats back. Aurora to midfield. Gasparotto with the pass. Now to the 70th minute. That does not include the injury stoppage time. We've seen two lengthier periods in this gold medal matchup. Gasparotto with Aurora. Aurora zips on by the defender. Tries to run around the corner. To the edge of the box. Breezes by the woodwork and out of touch for a throw-in. George Brown will throw it on in. George Brown, give them credit to have, at the very least, with being here today for the gold medal match. Secured their first medal since 2016, just the third time. They could at very least win silver. Now, back and forth goes George Brown. Humber trying to go on the attack. The quick shot scores. Abdul Babawale with the goal from the bench to the score sheet. 4-0. And some of the fans making their way to the exits with that one. Give Allen credit for the assist there. In the 71st minute. Baba Whale. The 5'10" forward, second-year player from Toronto, extending the advantage. George Brown, back and forth. We've gone back. Ducombe. Floated up. Goalkeeper elects to track it on down. Stamina putting in a lot of work. 8 saves. 16 total George Brown shots today. So far low, 3 shots saved. 14 total for Humber. The Hawks bouncing it back and forth. One player tumbled down and whistles blow. Free kick. Escobar tumbling down. Escobar. Look at the pass after the whistle. Aurora. Tapped along. Gasparotto. Kicks it back now. Fahon. Up to midfield. Again into the middle third. Trying to break their way through again. Another chance broken up by Lowe. Lowe tosses the ball. Move back to midfield. Escobar breaks up the chance to move back. Allen tries to head it forward. Another chance. Babawale, the shot. This time, knocked out of touch. And now, there's a shoving match. Lowe and Babawale discussing things here. Babawale did not like getting helped off the ground, it appeared there. So the second time in this match now, players have had to be broken apart here. Yellow cards pop out. Lowe with 1. Babawale with 1. Players now dispersing here, as now Lowe discussing things with Fahon. Fahon now getting close. By the way, there's a corner kick supposed to be coming up here. As here we go. Bounced around. And knocked out. Signal is corner kick again. Usello will try this again. Booted up through the box, headed way over the woodwork and out. Again, 4-0 to score for Humber at the moment over George Brown to the 75th minute. And several substitutions are coming in here, hence the hesitation. And there is a substitution for the goaltender after all that, it looks like. Felix Ofori is the other goalkeeper on the roster for George Brown. And is now amongst the substitutions here for the Huskies. Allen has scored 2 goals, keep in mind. Katabui has scored 1. Baba Whale, who subbed in for Katabui, scored in the 71st minute. So a new goalkeeper is in for George Brown for the final 15 minutes or so of this gold medal matchup. Ofori had played 5 times in the regular season of the 6 matches. 26 saves, but 18 goals allowed, a 3.6 goals allowed average in 450 minutes of playing time. 1-3 was the record for him. So now here we go. There's a swing of substitutions. Humber heads it down and pushes it back into George Brown's zone. Going back on the attack yet again. Headed back around the box. George Brown kicks it away from the box. That was Tiago Torres, who sees it now go out of touch. You see several of those substitutions with unhappy faces there. Steinbeck wants those really moving their hands there with the discussions. Torres loses the ball. Humber kicking it ahead. And offsides. Offsides the call on the rush. One of the players who has been quiet throughout much of this postseason here for this championship leg of the events, Mamie was amongst those pushing ahead for Humber. Also in the match now, Rafael Wuzu, who tries to defend this attempt now from Husanai, who goes down to the turf. Free kick call. Just past the 77th minute. Humber, just a few minutes away from their 9th goal in 11 seasons and in their 5th title game in 6 seasons. Free kick coming up for George Brown meanwhile. They need a lot to happen to have any chance here. Headed away by Humber yet again. The Hawks retreat back. Usello gives it off to Escobar. Escobar. Long pass intercepted by George Brown. Here comes Jonas Jama. Pass back and forth, now zips its way past Husanai, now rolled on towards Rahman. The header attempt misses. A second chance for George Brown, quick shot deflected by Examina and out of touch. Corner kick is the call from the far corner now. Bogey will be the one for the free kick. Coming in for assistance now is Torres. Booted up and sailed away, headed off a Humber Hawk, headed a second time. Sprinted back now by George Brown. And the slide tackle knocks it out of touch, clearly off Humber. Quick throw in. Ray Hamon from Scarborough set up for the throw in. A few more substitutions and the goalkeepers continue to change. Samana will now come out of the match after stopping 9 saves today. So a new goalkeeper is in. They and one other Husky subbed on in. Rather, Hawk. Huskies, meanwhile, see it go out of touch. They will throw it in. Quickly thrown back in. Having a back up around Raymond. Poked away by Humber yet again. Bounce back and forth. A big opportunity again now. Mimi. Mike quickly gets pulled back on the rush on forward, and now a Hawk is down off the ball. A yellow card pops up for Raymond. So a Humber Hawk is down. This was off the ball here for Baba Whale, who, remember, had the discussion that was very heated with Lowe before. Can contact just off the ball for the second-year forward from Toronto. Usello with the one attempting to build this one. The wall built up for George Brown, meanwhile. Zipped on by the wall, headed around towards the woodwork. Just kept in touch, now out of touch. Ofori now retreats back to retrieve the ball, now past the 81st minute. About 9 minutes to go, not including stoppage time for injuries throughout this second half of play. Their substitution waiting at midfield is the reason for this delay. It's a George Brown sub. One of the final ones on the bench. This is Christian Lamana, I should say. First year player for Pickering. One of the defenders elects to kick it instead of the goalkeeper. Intercepted yet again at midfield. George Brown gets it back off the bounce. Moved up by Jordan. The pass to open space. The goaltender tries to slide on top of it. Offside flags come up and a Husky is down. That is Carmen Singh, who is now given a yellow card instantly. So a yellow card again given out there to the Humber goalkeeper. And now an injury stoppage yet again in this gold medal match. Approaching the 83rd minute on the board. You see the goalkeeper who was just subbed in about 5 minutes ago to pleading his case. Back on to the feet now. That is Javal Hall. Hall gets back up after the attack attempt. Free kick coming up just outside the box. Don't forget that this busy weekend continues for Acumen Stadium. There is football action scheduled for tomorrow for the St. Clair Fratmen. That will take place in the afternoon on Sunday for a spooky game. It's Halloween against GTA. Bring your costume. Knocked down by the wall by Humber, meanwhile, as this is kicked off past midfield. Out of touch. Throw it, George Brown. So barring the miraculous, George Brown is in position currently for the third silver in program history. Humber, their third consecutive gold. Be about the 14th gold in Humber program history. Kicked up the field by George Brown, knocked back to the other side. Couple players scramble for the ball now. Taken by the first-year player for Brampton. Speeding up towards space. Nunes. Nunes has it pop up and bounce around out of touch. Humber throw in. Throwing coming in this time from Paven. They elect to just retreat back this time. Wusu. Moved around now for Fehan. Move back around again. Flipped around Gasparotto. Picked up now Wusu. Knocked down by George Brown. Back to Gasparotto. Bouncing around again by Humber. The Hawks trying to tick time away. Approaching the 86th minute. A chance down in the box. Misses the woodwork and out of touch. Forey putting a decent amount of work now. Electing to just pass it away to DeJesus. George Brown not giving up here. Trying to break through and avoid the shutout in the gold medal match. Humber, though, has continuously broken things up on their attacks over the past 15 minutes. Back and forth around the midfield portions of the pitch. George Brown now goes and breaks through into the Humber third. Lamina flips it up, headed away by Humber. Kick back again by George Brown, still retreating back and out of touch. Throw in coming for Humber. Ball currently being dried off before this attempt comes. Player is down, hence the stoppage here to Jesus. Thrown back in quickly. Bounced around. George Brown. Kicked away. Tries to boot it around. Jesus again. Moved off to Jordan. Kicked ahead again. And out of touch as that tries to find some friends at the George Brown bench. George Brown quickly dribbles it away, and now some frustrations there. Jonas Jama just kicked the ball into the fence before that throw-in. Humber tries to take advantage here. Breaking on forward, headed away, out of touch corner kick. These players get ready for the corner kick. Keep in mind, both of these teams have already qualified for the CCAA Nationals. They have a chance at a national title still. Broken away on that attempt, meanwhile, from the corner. Ofori now tries to clear out the box. Passes it off. Kicked ahead by George Brown. Approaching the 89th minute. Zipping along. It's going to be close for the offside flag. Just stays in touch. Hall avoids some pushes. Floats it across. The header attempt just misses. Forced to retreat to the other side now to reset their ground. Husanai flips it away. Lamina avoids the slide tackle but goes out of touch. Several George Brown signals for the throw. Thrown in quickly to the corner. Just stays in play and kick to the goalkeeper and Singh. Approaching added time now with 17 shots apiece. Wusu watches it go over to Paven. Now Gasparotto to Paven. Kick back again. Fehan. George Brown not sending anybody towards their direction. Humber wanting somebody to approach them now. Kick it back and forth to added time. And the celebrations already starting. The gold medal goes to Humber for a third consecutive season. "4-0 the final as the Hawks win their 9th gold in 11 seasons. George Brown wins their first medal since 2016, a silver this time, their third in program history. But the drought remains to the last gold that has lasted since the 1970s. Both teams will get to compete at the CCAA Nationals as a result of the wild card seed for the OCAA, but it's Humber who gets the gold medal hardware today. A brilliant season for the Humber Hawks. Sees them come up with the advantage 4-0 here at Acumen Stadium. The 2021 edition of the OCAA Men's Soccer Championship sees Humber with the gold, George Brown with the silver, and Seneca with the bronze. For the rest of our crew, I'd like to thank you for tuning in for this weekend's action. Once again, congratulations to Humber, your gold medalist for 2021.
My name is Nicole Pekala. Before I was in the welding program, I was a pet nutritionist at a pet shop for about 3 years. You'll be surprised how great it is to be a woman in the trades because it's such a welcoming community. Every woman that I've met that's in the trades program or has studied within the trades is just so happy to be in it. And why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that everybody else is enjoying and loving themselves?
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90%